Hey, what's up, guys? It is Russo and Jordy, Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we're ready to talk some NFL Sunday football. We've got 6 picks for you. I swear we're going to cash this. I mean, I don't know for sure about this one, but it's like these Sunday slates, these 6-mans we've been putting out, we feel so confident in, and some random stuff keeps happening. I feel better about. I mean, it's like we try to tweak it a little bit. Use that hindsight, see what went wrong with the plays, because nothing's guaranteed. But man, I feel good about this 6-man. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, drop us a comment. If you have any questions about props, make sure you just leave us a comment and we'll get back to you. I was just thinking, we got to talk about the best play from the last NFL video, because that actually cashed, didn't it?
It was Jaylen Warren rush attempts.
Jaylen Warren rush attempts at 9. Dude totally nailed it. This has been fun. We love this new thing we're doing where you guys post your favorite plays. And for the NBA video, I just pinned the 2 comments that got the most likes. I feel like that's kind of an easier way to do it. Instead of Jordy and I just picking out the ones we like the best, we can still talk about the ones we like the best. And we'll just reply in those and just give our feedback on the plays you guys post.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of fun.
To Damian Guzman, 8937. He was the one who shouted out the Jaylen Warren over 9 rush attempts.
Man, good job, bro. You were absolutely right about that. He outsnapped Najee.
Yeah.
And what a fun game that was, dude. Oh my God, all that snow. We kept looking at screenshots between the first half and the second half, and it looked like a different game entirely. But
yeah,
that was a fun one. Looking forward to some more snow games like that.
Yep.
But yeah, ironically, so we did decent in that. We cashed 1 of the 4-man, we pushed 2, and then the one that you would expect with that weather to do the best, because everyone was kind of getting me freaked out in the comments. Everyone's like, did you pay attention to this weather and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I looked at it, but it's not supposed to be bad for the whole game. But the receivers were eating in that weather, which was different. So yeah, Jerry Jeudy cashed, Elijah Moore pushed. What was my other play? Oh yeah, Boswell pushed. Thank God.
And Najee was the one who didn't do anything. He was that was just insane. I was like, Najee's gonna eat in this weather. The big running back, in the snow, they're gonna have such a hard time tackling him. And they were like, what's his name? The offensive coordinator pulled a typical, and what's his name? Arthur
Smith.
Arthur Smith was like, nah, we're gonna go with the 5'9" running back the entire game.
I have to say though, I think that was the right call in hindsight.
I agree,
because Najee was moving too slow out there.
Yeah, he was he looked like a deer on ice. He was not playing well.
Warren was moving so fast, it was hard for those defenders to get him. So what a big game for Warren. So yeah, shout out. What was his name again? Who called that out?
Damian Guzman.
Good job, man. That was a solid pick. So all right, well, let's talk about NFL Sunday. Before we break it down though, if you have not signed up for Parlay Play yet, we're throwing in 30 days in our premium Discord if you use our code, as an added thank you to you, because we appreciate you guys. You use our code, that helps us out. We want to help you out as well, and give you 30 days in our premium Discord. On top of that, you're going to get 100% deposit match from Parlay Play up to $100, plus a $5 promo slip, which I think is the coolest thing to offer. I still think, I think the free pick is cool, like underdog offers, but Parlay Play giving you a promo slip, I think that's just a little bit more of a fun little added bonus there. But yeah, if you want to take advantage of that and get 30 days in our Discord as well, just email us at bdfantasysports@gmail.com, and we need your Discord username, your Parlay Play username, and it takes us about 24 hours to confirm with Parlay Play. I want to emphasize though, this is just an added bonus that we're throwing in. This isn't because I feel like some of the way I worded it before was I don't want to word it the wrong way where it seems like Parlay Play is doing this. This is something we're doing, but we just need to confirm, so Parlay Play gives us a list of who uses the code, and we confirm that. But that's just an added gift from us because you're supporting us, so we appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. So yeah, code Backdoor at Parlay Play, and then Underdog. Also, I mean, I'm having fun with all these platforms, man. Like even like Sleeper lately. I've been enjoying Sleeper, and I don't mean to say it like even Sleeper, but like Sleeper a lot of times, like, you know, we're just being honest with you guys about the platforms we like the best, and Sleeper, a lot of times their lines are kind of like harder to hit in my case, from my experience. But what I do love about Sleeper is they've got all of these extra plays that I'm not finding on other platforms. Like for my sons, like the like Prize Picks is like, who do you want, Booker or Tyus? That's all you get. And it's like, no, I want like Ryan Dunn, and I want Josh Okogie, and I want all these other like guys coming off the bench. And Sleeper's given me all of that like early on. It's not even like, you know, 20 minutes before the game. But so Sleeper's been awesome. We have all of our codes in the description of the video. Underdog, if you use code Backdoor, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. They've been dropping boosts. They dropped a surprise boost the other day that was like 65% boost. So it's been awesome. It's a fun time of year. Thanksgiving promos dropping. We'll have Christmas promos dropping. So good time to sign up for a new platform if you haven't yet. And again, we have all of ours in the link or in the description, you know, of the video. All right, I think I've said enough about our partners. Let's talk about the plays. I'm going to be taking fantasy score for all of my plays. It's what I like best. I like to get a little bit of everything, and Jordy and I are so into fantasy football. This is my favorite way to just read the DFS, you know, landscape as well. So I'm going Baker Mayfield over 17.5 fantasy points. I'm going Austin Eckler over 9 fantasy points. And I'm going Jackson Smith and Jigba over 13 fantasy points. All of those lines are a little bit different on Underdog because it's the scoring is a little bit different. It's half point PPR instead of full point. But yeah, I'm comfortable taking fantasy score for all 3 of these guys over. I feel good about it. What are you getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going with CeeDee Lamb for over 14.5 fantasy score. Feeling good about that line. I'm taking Tyrone Tracy over 10.5 receiving yards. Just got bumped 1, but I still like it. And I'm taking Bryce Young over 11 fantasy score. So,
all right. Yeah, if you were in our Discord, you got that line before the bump because we put that in there earlier. I think I got it at 9.5 when I shared it.
Yeah.
I like 10.5 too. I think it's just ridiculous that they haven't been. I mean, when he had his first breakout game, what did he have? Like 10 receptions or something?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's, you know,
they need to get back to that. Yeah, he's a stud. All right, let's talk about the plays. So Baker Mayfield, I think he's due for a bounce back here. We do have, okay, so Mike Evans is still questionable. I don't know if you're able to like find any note on that while I'm doing this, Jordy, but we need Mike Evans back. The dude is a stud. He needs to hit 1,000 yards and not break his streak. So, sorry, I already passed. I'm gonna look at this over under while Jordy's looking that up.
So it says recent news: Mike Evans is not concerned at all with aggravating hamstring injury. He's put on the questionable tag just because of coming off of the injury designation. But Mike Evans is good to go, and he says he feels 100%.
Yeah, baby, that's what I want to hear. So Jordy made a good point when we were just hanging out watching the games last week that when Mike Evans gets back, there is a narrative that you could run with that he's going to get heavily targeted because he's never not had at least 1,000 yards in a season.
Yep.
In his career, and he's like a veteran. Like that's an incredible record to have. And I mean, it's not like he's going to have competition for targets in this passing game right now. Baker needs him. The Bucs need him. And I think he could start popping off to try to still hit that 1,000 yards. I mean, he would need a lot, right? I don't know what he's currently sitting at, but
he's about 600.
He needs 600.
Yeah. So if we can get a 250 out of Mike, I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got time. What is it, like 17 games total?
Yeah, so he's got about, 7 more weeks?
5.
Oh,
this is week 12. So
Really?
including this week, it'd be 6 weeks, I think. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
He can get there. He can
100,
get there.
100 a game. Yeah, he can absolutely do that. So I'm so stoked that it's seeming like he's going to be playing. I'm looking at the wrong over under. I was like, they got Carolina. This is going to be easy. They do have Carolina next week. How did I miss that? Okay, here we go. No, they got the Giants this week. It's a little bit more difficult. 41.5 point over under. Tampa Bay favored by 5.5. No Daniel Jones. We got Tommy DeVito stepping back in, and his agent, who we can't wait to see on the sidelines. But yeah, playing in New York, they just completely are done with Daniel Jones. He's off the team, which is part of the reason I love Jordy's Tyrone Tracy play as well. Because I think he'll get into why, but I love that play this week. Baker. Okay, so when we look at the matchup, the Giants defense has taken a step forward this year. They look better. 4th in passing yards allowed, 29th in rushing yards allowed. So yeah, a little bit tough, but Baker is a stud. And if he gets his best weapon back this week, I feel even more confident about this. But I think he's going to be fine. 17.5 is too low. I'm starting him in my dynasty league over Anthony Richardson. A similar scoring situation to Prize Picks and a lot of these platforms. So he's cleared this line 8 out of 10 games on the season. And that game against San Francisco was tough last time they played. They're coming off their bye week, so he's had time to rest. I'm all over this play at 17.5 fantasy score. Let's take a look at, since they're playing on the road, let's look at his record on the road. Yeah, so he's never not hit this on the road. He does play great on the road. The dude is just all about, embracing the moment. Let's take a look at the matchup for passing touchdowns. I think that is also tough. But we've seen the Bucs get this done. Okay, so 11th in passing touchdowns allowed, a little bit above average, but we've seen the Bucs get this done in difficult situations. I mean, I would say Kansas City's better defense than the Giants. He had 2 touchdowns against Kansas City. How did that overall game look for fantasy? So against KC, yeah, he just barely cleared it at 18. I think he'll be able to get this done. I'm confident in it, and especially with the way the Bucs have their pass catching from their running backs. There's a lot of that going on. We see Rashad White, we see Bucky Irving catching the ball, especially in the red zone. They'll just dish it out, and their running backs will run it in. So there's a lot of different ways that he can cash this. If you're looking for a pivot. I don't know what his rushing yards line is set at, but his rushing yards line is always set lower than what he's capable of doing. 10.5. Yeah, that's a solid pivot. 30th in rushing yards allowed to quarterbacks. So I'm still going to be sticking with the whole fantasy score, but I'm absolutely going to be throwing this rushing line at 10.5 in the mix as well on some slips. So let's take a look here. Daily grind. They don't like his fantasy score to go over 17.5. They have it at 51.65% odds to hit the under. Go with your gut. If you don't like it, let's see what they're saying about the rushing yards. So Prize Picks has it at 11.5. They like his passing rushing yards to go over 243.5, and they like him good for two touchdowns to go over. I think that he'll be over 17 fantasy score at that point. Could be wrong. And then this Baker Mayfield, Tommy DeVito pass yards combo over 406.5. They like that to go over too. I think that looks good too, because the Bucs are easy to pass against. They're kind of a pass funnel. Baker could be good for 300 himself. I think Tommy's good for 150 at least, maybe 200. So that does look really good if you want to throw that combo in there as well. All right, I don't want to take too long, so let's keep it rolling. Austin Eckler, this one's easy. Dude's been balling. Great pass catcher. He's been solid with running the ball too. He just looks like he's got a resurgence. Okay, so last week he didn't even run the ball much at all, 7 yards. But yeah, like I was saying, you guys remember Austin Eckler when he was the #1 overall pick for fantasy for a couple years? Dude, absolute monster, and he looks like he's bouncing back. Yeah, he had 89 receiving yards against Philly of all teams last week. This week he's got the Cowboys, 27th in receiving yards allowed to running backs. Let's look at the rushing yards. We know they look a little bit better with Micah Parsons back. Let's take a look at the injury report real quick. Trayvon Diggs, questionable. The thing is Washington is going to get a lead quick. Cowboys will not be able to keep up, in my opinion. And this is going to be mostly running backs second half. But he's been getting a solid snap share. He can get into the end zone. But these receptions are worth a point apiece. In that last game against Philly, he had 8 receptions. That's 8 points right there. We need 9 fantasy score for him to go over this. So I love all of the upside of potentially getting in the end zone. How's that looked? So yeah, three touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. He had 2 touchdowns against Pittsburgh, 1 against the Giants. So yeah, I am all over this fantasy score. There's so many ways he could go over this. 3 straight weeks of going for 17.3 or more. And that was Giants, Pittsburgh, and Philly. Those are not easy matchups. So I just can't believe it's this low. I think he's totally fine too. I didn't see him on the injury report or anything. No, so we're smashing this. He's exceeded 9 fantasy score in 10 of his last 12 games at home. So let's just take a look there. I'm gonna use these cool outlier tools. Take a look at that. Okay, so yeah, there it is. He looks great on the road. Or I'm sorry, at home. We're all over this. 9? Yeah, give me that all day. All right. Moving on, let's take a look at daily grind. They like his receiving yards over 20.5. That looks great too. 51.54% odds to hit the over. Then they've got his fantasy score there right under it. They love that to go over as well. 51.27% odds to hit the over. I'm going to be putting this fantasy score from Eckler in so many slips. This is maybe my favorite play on my end. All right, let's keep it rolling. Jackson Smith and Jigba. This dude has been popping off. And even with DK back, it seems like he's officially broke into his role. He's clearly at least the wide receiver 2, but this has officially turned into a 1A, 1B situation with him and DK. What an awesome duo to have. And like, if you like, this dude helped me win last week. He's in my dynasty. I have him in my dynasty team. And that fourth quarter, there was like 3 minutes left. And he went for I think he went for 5 receptions on that last drive for them to go get the dub. Yeah, he had 10 receptions last week. So that's 10 points for us. 3 straight weeks, 6, 7, and 10 receptions. Now he's playing against my Cardinals, who are 24th in receptions allowed to wide receivers. This is going to be a really fun game. Let's take a look at the over-under. 47.5 point over-under. Cardinals favored by 1.5, playing in Seattle. This is going to be such a fun game. The NFC West is stacked. I can't wait for this. I'm going to be all over this game. And then since I forgot to mention it, so 44.5 point over-under in the Cowboys-Commanders game, playing in Washington. Commanders favored by 10.5. They're expecting this to be, a blowout. I mean, if you just want to compare, they've got the Chiefs favored by 10.5 against the Panthers. They feel the same way about the Commanders versus the Cowboys. But yeah, back to JSN here. Let's look at the receiving yards matchup. 20th in receiving yards allowed. This one is just pretty simple. We don't have to overthink this. I think that he's definitely capable. As far as touchdowns go, I don't think he's been super active. Yeah, but I mean, he had 2 against LA, none against San Francisco. But the best thing is even without getting into the end zone, he went for 21.8 fantasy score. So, that full point PPR with a guy like JSN, it's just you stack it up. You get like 75% of your goal there just off of receptions alone. So definitely feeling good about this. Let's take a look at the injury report. Make sure. Yeah, nothing to be concerned. And even with DK healthy, that just helps, take some of the attention away from JSN, and he's officially got a role in this offense, and I love to see it. I drafted him in our Dynasty League at our startup, so I've been waiting for his breakout, and it's so good to see. All right, daily grind. They like his fantasy score to go over. They have it at a 51.37% odds to hit the over. We can see, we're getting it at 13, and everyone else has this over 13. It's 13.3 or higher. Some are knocking on the door of 14 fantasy score. So I'm all over this. They like his receiving yards to go over as well, 56.5. They've got that line at 50.22% odds to hit the over. I'm just taking the fantasy score. It's real simple. All right. If you guys want to check out Outlier, you can try this for free. It's awesome. If you try it out, make sure you have some fun with all these extra tools they have. Like I've been using this a lot, like for NBA and NFL. It'll if they're playing at home, you can just click this little button that says show only home games. You can do the same if it's a road game, but it helps to take a look and see, because sometimes that does make a difference. You'll see some trends. Guys will be really consistent on the road, or they'll be really bad on the road. So take advantage of all of that. You can take players in and out of the equation. If guys are going to be out, it'll let you take them out of the equation, and it'll show you what they've done with that particular player out. It's such a cool tool. So yeah, they cover matchups, injury reports, which is also really important. And they have this insights tab you can check out, where it just has plays that are on their radar, and they'll show you like, hey, he's done this X amount of times, and he's playing on the road, and gives you a little note on it. And then you can go straight to that platform right through Outlier and lock it in. So yeah, really killer tool. Such a great value for the subscription price, but they're going to let you try it for 7 days for free. They're hooking up all of our viewers. You don't have to put in a code. Just go through the link in the description of the video, and they're going to let you test drive this for a week. And this is the perfect week with all of these fun games. We got football on Friday. We got Thanksgiving. We've got all sorts of fun stuff this week. So take advantage. All right, Jordy, pass it over.
All right. Yeah. So to get me started, I'm going to be talking about my man, CeeDee Lamb. My team has been an absolute dumpster fire this year. So I'm going to try to get through this one without crying too much about my team. But CeeDee Lamb, he's had a really slow year. He's my wide receiver 1 on my dynasty team, so I really need him to start picking up the pace a little bit. And I think that he'll be able to do that a little bit here. This is definitely going to be a bit of a tough matchup here with Washington. I think Dan Quinn's going to use this as toilet paper, to be honest, because, I think he's going to get a little bit of revenge here. Or vice versa. Maybe my team pulls this off somehow. I doubt it. But, Jaden Daniels is a little banged up. I think going into this too, there's a couple defensive players who aren't playing. We don't have Marshawn Lattimore on the other side of the ball, thank God. There's just a couple names that, like Jonathan Allen, he's also not playing. So there's a couple names that are off the defense that will help a little bit. Honestly, like the Commanders defense hasn't been anything stellar this year. They've just been outscoring a lot of people. So that's not going to be hard to do with the Cowboys, because the only person that scores on our team is Brandon Aubrey. Here I go already, bear with me. But looking at the matchup for CeeDee Lamb, 21st in receiving touchdowns allowed. If you look at the receiving yards, 13th in receiving yards allowed. Let's take a look at the receptions here. And 13th in, no, that's still receiving yards. Hang on. 14th in receptions allowed. So not a horrible matchup, pretty soft. I like the whole fantasy score here. I think he can get it all done. I think he'll get in the end zone. I mean, someone's got to break through for us, and he had a pretty decent week last week, all things considered. 18.6 isn't stellar, but it's still over the 14.5 line here. He's gone over this 14.5 line 6 out of the 10 games this season. That's pretty crazy that he's struggling to get over this line, but I think if you look at the the matchup and everything, I think this is a pretty decent matchup for him. Cooper Rush, he didn't have like an all-time horrible game last week either. He threw the ball like 55 times. I don't know why we're still doing this, but Cooper Rush is throwing the ball a whole lot. So I think CeeDee Lamb's going to get fed. I think it's going to be either it's going to be like a close game or it's going to be an absolute blowout against the Cowboys again. So we'll see how it goes, but I really do like CeeDee Lamb to get over this 14.5 line. If we look at this on Daily Grind, they like his fantasy score to go over as well at a 50.72% chance. So liking this one. So that's going to be that one. And then next I've got Tyrone Tracy. I love this kid. I mean, this dude has been amazing. He, got into a perfect landing spot when he got drafted to this team. And, as far as like getting production, not like winning or anything, but this matchup is going to be stellar. This kid's a converted wide receiver. He played wide receiver his whole life and his first couple years in college, and then they converted him to a running back and he became a stud. So, now he's just, taking over this backfield for the Giants, and it's awesome. So I love him to get passing work in this game. He hasn't been getting enough passing work at all. Daniel Jones has not been cutting it. I mean, now he's been cut. So I think with Tommy DeVito coming in, I think he's going to get these easy checkdowns. I think Tyrone Tracy's going to eat. I think this offense is going to look a whole lot different, is what I'm hoping. And I think Dable's going to get this dude heavily involved. The passing matchup is just too juicy here. 31st in receiving yards allowed to running backs, giving up 51.3 yards a game. We only need him to get 11. So I love this line for him to go over this. I think this is a super juicy line. He's done it 3 times this year. That's a shame. He should have done it a whole lot more. Some of these games, he got the receptions. He just didn't get the yards. 3 receptions, 3 targets for 3 receptions. He only got 9 yards, but that was against Philly. 2 receptions on 3 targets. That was against Pittsburgh. So I think if he gets the targets today or tomorrow, I think he will go over this line. So I'm super stoked about this line. This is favored to go over as well. This is a 52.46% chance to go over and a -129. So I'm all over this play. Probably one of my favorite ones on the day. And then this Bryce Young line, I just think this is way too low. I mean, I've taken this line before. I took it when he played against Denver and he went over it. He had 15 in that game. It's just too low. I know he sucks, but it's like, this is 11 fantasy score. If he gets 1 touchdown and just a couple, like 100 passing yards, he's over this line. So, I mean, I like this a lot. Unfortunately, if we take a look here, okay, I thought Jalen Coker was injured, but he's not. So he's got Jalen Coker, Adam Thielen's going to be back. He's got Xavier Legette. Like he's got receiving talent. We know that, but it's just whether or not he can get the ball in their hands. He's gone over this line 3 out of the 7 games he's played this year. Obviously, he had some awful games. He played some really tough defenses at the beginning of the year too, though. Like, honestly, when you take a look at it, like, he had a decent game against the Saints, but then he played the Chargers, then he played the Bears, then he played Washington. Like, we know those defenses are capable, but then he goes off for 15 against Denver. So it's like, maybe just coming back and getting a little bit of that pressure off of him sitting out for a couple weeks helped him out. I don't know, but I think this line is just far too low to not take it. If we look at passing yards here, Kansas City 16th in passing yards allowed, so it's not like they're super stout in the passing game. They are getting what's his name back. They're getting a huge defensive player back. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but this is gonna be an ugly game for Carolina. I just think Bryce Young's gonna have to throw the ball a lot, so I like him to go over this passing line, or this fantasy score line, at 11. He's favored to go over his passing yards at 178, and he's favored to go over his passing and rushing at 194.5. I just like the full fantasy score here, because I think if that's the case, he could throw a touchdown. He's got plenty of talent on the offensive side of the ball where he could just dish it off to anyone, like Chuba Hubbard, Xavier Legette. Any of these guys can house the ball, so I like him to get over this 11 line a lot. This is favored to the, let's see, I think I have it right here. Yeah, so this is favored to go under, a 51% chance to go under. So if you don't like it, you don't have to take it, but I think this line's far too low for a starting quarterback. So I am all over this Bryce Young play. If you guys want to check out Daily Grind, this app will help you cash more. It's been awesome. I just used it to help me build out a college football play I feel really good about. Did a little bit of research into that one, dropped it in the Discord. There's still like an hour to catch that one. If you guys are in the Discord, definitely go check it out. But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, if you take away the names here, they'll show you all the top plays for all the sports right at the top here, and you'll get all the best value. I cannot believe Ashton Genty's fantasy score is set at 30.5, and he's been going over like every game. That's just crazy. But that's just the awesome value you get with the daily grind optimizers. It'll help you build the best plays, and it'll give you all the best plays right at the top of the board. So if you want to check this out, go to dgfantasy.com and use code BACKDOOR, and they'll give you 25% off of your first purchase. And that's however long you want to lock that in. And if you guys want to check out Chalkboard, they're another DFS platform like PrizePicks and Underdog and Parlay Play. They just give you a whole bunch of alt lines, and they run like the best specials out of any of these other platforms, to be honest. Like, they run like 6 specials a day at minimum, and sometimes even more. So a lot of fun over there. Use code BACKDOOR at checkout, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100, and they'll give you a free play to help you cash your first slip over there. So a lot of fun. That's going to cover it all for me, and I'll pass it over to Russo.
All right, man, I have so much fun doing this. I was like over here browsing for like other plays that we could talk about. But yeah, I don't see anything that I'm super confident in the way I am on these 6 picks, but I mean, there is a lot of value out there still. So we'll definitely be posting more plays to the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, if you haven't signed up yet and you want to join us, we do have a lot of fun in here. Really killer community. Our guys have been putting together some wins in here, which has been awesome. Let's see, I'm going to shout out a couple people. I know Cellbeats has been getting it done. What was this one? Yeah, he had a little cash here, 12 turned into 238. He took this wild play that I'm like, dang, that is bold, man. Right here, Tyrese Halliburton over 2.5 threes. It's just like the straight bet. Put 100 on it, made 200. I'm like, dude, that's a crazy. Like, I'm not taking that kind of a chance personally, but I'm glad he cashed. And then shout out Bean Daddy, who cashed a 6-man for the community. Jordy, you were so close to hitting your 6-man last night too.
Close.
That was a close one. Still got the double up on it at least, but yeah, Bean Daddy put together this 6-man last night, and we share all of our slips with the community. So I unfortunately did not tail this, but I'm super stoked that Bean Daddy cashed. It had a nice fat win for the end of the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to come, what's up?
I was gonna say, me and Bean Daddy, we got a little impulsive last night, and we hurt ourselves real bad.
Yeah, you guys getting it? What was it like? Esports?
Yeah, we were feeling it a little bit, and
getting a little wild.
Got a little humbled last night.
That's funny. I'm gonna have to go back and look at more of the details of that pick, because you've told me about it, but I don't know like what it actually looked like. But anyways, if you guys want to come join our community, you can take advantage of the Parlay Play promo that we're running. You'll get 30 days in the Discord for free, just by signing up through Parlay Play using our code. If you want to skip that and just get right in, just go through Patreon. There's a link in the description of the video. You sign up there, it manages our subscriptions, and then you go into settings on Patreon. There's a connected apps option in the menu bar, and then you log right in. Make sure you introduce yourself. You don't have to if you're shy, but if you just let us know that you're new, you hop in the community chat. We just want to welcome you, because we're a big family in here. We have so much fun every single day. We're in here, gosh, there's guys in here at 5-6 a.m. every single day, myself included. Usually I'll start my day, hop in there, but we're just like working on stuff all day around the clock, and building out second half slips, just having a lot of fun. So if you introduce yourself, we could just make sure that we give you a little bit of an introduction on how to get the most out of our Discord. So yeah, and then if you want to follow us on our socials, it's just at BackdoorFS on TikTok, Instagram, X. We have all of our personal socials in the in the description of the video as well. So yeah, we hope you guys have a really killer Sunday. We're about to dive right into NBA picks, so we'll have that for you soon. We just wanted to make sure the board was populated enough. Like when we were first looking, there wasn't even like free throw props or anything like that. So we decided to start with NFL, but super stoked on this slate for Sunday. Yeah, have a good day, guys. We'll catch you in just a few here for the NBA picks.
Good luck, guys.